Hello.
Hey, Varun. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, mate. I'm very well. Thanks for joining us on Zoom.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, I'm excited. Excited to.
Awesome. Awesome, mate. No, brilliant. So, yeah, so we're looking to do kind of virtual consultations here. So, basically, just tell me a little bit about you. Tell me about your job, lifestyle, and then tell me an ideal, sort of in an ideal world, how you'd like your hair cut.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I'm 21.
Yeah,
I'm a student here in San Diego.
cool.
Uh, Still going to college, graduating soon. A little busy, as students always are.
Yeah,
Still tend to make time to do my hair.
cool.
Try to take care. Try to work out. Try to eat well. I care about what I put in my body, care about how I look. So I think these things are important.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Unbelievably important. What you put into your body is basically, that does dictate how good your skin is, your hair is. So
Mhm.
that's a good start, a very good start. Yeah. And so when you say you spend time or you give yourself time for your grooming and stuff, where because obviously I can see I'm looking at your hair now and I'm looking at your face shape as well. And with you being a student as well, obviously you said you're still a busy guy as well. So that it's not always the guys who are working who are busy guys as well. If you're doing all nighters studying things like that, your tiredness, etc. I can see your face shape. You've got quite an oval face shape.
Mhm.
So tell me how you would, if you were sitting in the chair now, what would you ask for a haircut?
So I'm trying something new.
Okay.
Recently, I realized that my hair wasn't straight.
Yeah.
It's rather curly.
Yeah.
Maybe because typically I used to get my hair a lot shorter,
Yeah.
so I couldn't tell if it was curly. But
Yeah.
now that I've let it grown out, I've started to see that it's a lot curlier than I thought it
Yeah.
was. And that's kind of my plan. That's what I'm going for at the moment. Um, I'm trying to grow it out.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
I typically used to do my hair up, but
Yeah.
the hairstyle I'm trying to go for now is trying to put a little bit down.
Yeah.
It's still growing. I think I'm gonna grow a little bit more.
Okay.
The ideal haircut that I'm looking for is kind of short on the sides, kind of like a fade,
Yeah.
and on the top and the back, kind of like similar length, but top a little bit longer in the
Yeah.
front, and kind of just let it like sit, and it's curly, so it has texture as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What I was thinking of going for. What do you
Cool.
think?
Yeah, to be honest, I think you're picking the right look. I think when you've got curly hair, and especially you like you've done yourself, where you do grow it out, a lot of people don't realise what the hair texture is like until they grow it out. So
Hmm.
I've had it in the past where some of my clients have come in and we've done a short haircut for years, and they've grown it out and they've got a slight sort of wave to it, and they really enjoy it. So I think what you're doing is good. I think wearing the hair on your face will work for you because of your face shape. Okay, because with your hairline, it's high, but it's not like receding. When you lift it up, then it doesn't look like it's receding. So
It's not.
but it's higher than what say mine is, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I can't get away with wearing mine on my eyebrows because it kind of encloses my face. But you've got quite a lot like an oval face; it's slightly longer, so you can get away with that.
Mhm.
In terms of the back and sides, I would say, yeah, a fade would work really well, but just keep it low, okay? So start to build up here on the corners here, okay?
Mhm.
Because if you go too high, it will just sit with curls on the top and you'll have no structure or balance. So
Mhm.
you need to have some balance through here that blends, say if you want to go down to a 0, skin, a number 1, and a zero point 0.5, or anything like that, you want to keep it fairly low. So no higher than a temple, and then fade it up and out on that kind of angle. Because as it dries, it will sit flatter on yours. Whereas if you've done it on mine, because mine's straight, it would be cut and it would grow in the way it's been cut, whereas yours would sit flatter. So you want to help to build that weight up so it balances. It's towards the crown at the back as well. Again, drop it down at the back. So you want to drop the blend underneath the occipital bone at the back here, because in that way it will create more shape to the back of your head as well, especially when you've got curly hair. Because curls are quite they can be a sort of what's the word I'm looking for? They can be slightly they can kind of kid you a little bit, right, in terms of how long your hair actually is. Because like you've just done then, when you pull your hair down out of the curl, it's to your eyes.
Yeah,
But as
it's
you can see now, it
yeah,
doesn't look like it is. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So the longer you go with the curls is better, because you can scrunch them a lot more to create more movement in the curls. If it was quite short, especially when it dries in, it would go
Mhm,
shorter and shorter and shorter. So I think
mhm.
the top length, what it is now or a bit longer, be amazing. But the thing you need to try and not do is go too high on a blend, because all you'll be left with is curls on top, and it'll have no balance, and it'll just annoy you. So then when you have to cut it short. So I
Yeah,
think what you're doing is a great choice. I wouldn't change much about that. I'd just adapt to what you've got now. So like we said, keep the blend low, build up some weight through the corners here, and then just with the top as well, if you did want to get texture in it,
mhm,
you wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't use a razor. What you'd want to do is, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos where we do a technique where we curl the hair around our finger and we pinch the hair so it's in a spiral, and you cut
mhm.
into it. And what that does, it breaks up as the hair falls out of the spiral into the curl. It creates shorter texture through the curl. So that
Mhm.
helps to give movement and thin out the hair as well. Because if you
Okay.
just put a pair of thinning scissors to that, it would grow out even bigger and wilder. So you'd want
Mhm.
to pick the texture on the top.
Okay.
And everything would have to be cut straight as well. But essentially doing it drier is better as well. So if you are getting a haircut in the future, obviously when we're all out of our lockdown,
Yeah. Yeah.
just ask for a dry cut, okay? Because if you get your hair cut wet, you can't
Mhm.
see the curls, and you want to cut it as you can see it. Doing curly hair is a very visual cutting method, in a sense where when you cut hair wet, you cut hair blind, as you say. So with curly hair, it's much more to that effect. You want to cut it as you see it, because that's how it will sit naturally. So yeah, I think what you've got going on is great. Again, adapt to what you've got. And yeah, I think keep going with it, man. It looks good. It looks really, really good. And in the meantime, if you can, just tidy up your sideburns a little bit. If you've got a pair of trimmers or anything like that, just blend in your sideburns to your beard a bit, just to give it a bit of shape as well for the time being.
Okay. I
That'll
will.
work for now. Yeah.
I think another one of the things I think that I'm really lacking at the moment is the sides haven't grown in,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's still not blending in together. So it's like I have a front and I
Yeah.
have sides, but this middle part on both ends, it's not connecting it together. So it kind of still looks a little bit stupid.
Yeah, well, it's all the thing is with that though is that it's hard, because the texture of the sides of your hair to the texture of the top are slightly different, because everybody's sides in the back is much thicker than the top. So if you ever look at things like hair transplants and stuff, they use the back and sides as the donor area, because it's
Mhm,
always the thickest part of the head. So
mhm,
you never, it's going to be hard to balance at the moment, but that's what I
mhm,
mean. If you got a low one, a low half, a low zero, and then you still kept like a shadow of darker hair here,
mhm.
it would almost balance itself in a way. And just make sure the fringe is cut level as well to the blend area. So when you're wearing anything heavy on the fringe, you want
Mhm.
the blend area to be where the fringe is. So like I'm saying there, keep the blending at the temple, because that's where
Okay.
your fringe will sit. Okay. If you
Is
do the blend really high, it will sort of almost drop the fringe down like this. So that's why you
okay.
always want to try and keep the blend point where the fringe is. It just
Uh,
helps for balance when you're looking straight on and to the side as well.
is
So yeah,
is the term for the faded taper fade?
yes, exactly that. Yeah, or a low fade or taper fade, whichever you prefer. They won't make too much of a difference either or. I think if you say taper fade, you've got less chance of getting it wrong. Because if you
Mhm.
say a low fade, people's idea of low fading, they still sometimes blend higher though. So
Uh,
if you ask for a taper fade, you're more likely to get the choice of haircut that you want. Or if you've got any pictures, we've done similar ones to yours on the channel. So
mhm.
I'm sure Liam can point you in the right direction to which one that would be with the curly top. But yeah, again, try and stick to just ask for a low fade and a low. It's almost what we call like a shallow blend as well. It's not like you're not looking to kind of blend right up to here. You're almost
Mhm.
looking to blend quite a small area. So that's why you want to keep the fade low, so that it doesn't look too much like you've got a line around your head if you go too high. So
Uh,
yeah, a taper fade would be a good start, yeah, definitely. And then you can always adjust it. You can always go, actually, would you mind going a bit shorter here, or then you've got a little bit more say in the haircut as well. So
Amazing.
yeah, but that sounds awesome, mate. Yeah. Any other questions like to know at all? Or
Yeah. I've two more.
yeah,
One is how long should my hair be ideally, like my ideal length?
to be honest, it's personal preference. It's whatever you prefer. There's no right and wrong length. I mean, obviously, if it gets too long, like down to like your nose, for example, that might be a bit harder to do. But with curly hair, if you use heat with a diffuser, do you know what a diffuser is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay, so if you use something like a salt spray or anything that will, even like a curl activator or something like that, and you use the diffuser on it, what it would do, it would shrink the curls. So where your curls, say, would have a, like, because you've got a slight S curl, it looks to me, or actually, it looks a bit like maybe a C curl, but all that is basically the way the curl is sitting, it looks, you almost sit like an S, like that, if it's a bit longer, or if it's a bit shorter, it looks like a C, okay? So it's like a spiral. So you could always have it a bit longer, so it's maybe down to your nose when it's pulled out, and then that way, if you put heat on it, it would scrunch it shorter. So it's probably until it gets too unruly and too almost looks to you like it's out of balance is when you kind of want to stop. But I'd say up to the nose area, if you pull it down, so whatever that would be, a couple of inches, maybe 3 inches, and then I think that might be enough in terms of length.
So would that be, so all of my front should be the same length at my nose?
Yeah, it should always be cut straight, yeah. Because what it does with yours, you're not looking to angle it into a blend on the sides here. With the top being so disconnected, you disconnect the fringe, so you can connect everywhere else, but you just disconnect the fringe. So if you have a look at some of the videos, you'll see a lot of that on our. I do a lot of that, especially when you're leaving more length on the top. Because if you disconnect everywhere, then it all just looks really top heavy. Whereas you only disconnect the fringe, it still maintains quite a top heavy look without it being unbalanced through here. So I would say you want to cut the fringe so it is literally level all the way across. So almost like it comes down in like a square is what you're looking for, because as it crunches in, it will balance the whole way through the front. Whereas if it's shorter here and goes down like this, as you scrunch it up, you'll just have like a sort of almost like a horn in a sense. You just have a load of curl here and it'll be much shorter on the sides. Do you know what I mean? Bit of a Danny Zuko style, grease style hairstyle. So yeah, I would always go for a more straighter level fringe. Yeah.
Okay. And one of the problems I think I face and people with my hair texture face, especially the look I'm going for, is it's easy for it to look messy in the back.
Yeah.
What are some pointers that you can give me, whether it's the kind of haircut I get or taking care of my hair or even styling it? What do you think I can do to make sure it doesn't look messy?
So for it not to look messy, is a good one is obviously keeping on top of the back and sides, because that makes it look clean. When a lot of guys grow out if you've got a lot of length on top and you start growing the back and sides out, especially if the texture is different, which yours is, as you can see, it's much thicker here than it is on the top. That will start to look messy. So that's one thing you could do: keep on top of the back and sides, even if it's just getting around the ears like a taper each time. Another one is looking after the hair as well. So a lot of guys, even now, don't condition the hair. And it's basically the way you have to look at shampoo and conditioner is face wash and moisturizer, okay? So if you use a face wash, use a moisturizer, because obviously you've took out impurities and you're putting all the goodness back in through the moisturizer. Shampoo and a conditioner is exactly the same. But be careful of the shampoo that you buy. Now, a lot of guys tend to buy shampoos that they buy off like from a supermarket or a mall or something like that, and they tend to buy something that a lot of, say, women would use. An example, like, say, can't think of particular brands off the top of my head, but something that I know I've got a lot of clients who just use like the wife's shampoo. But the thing is with that, though, a lot of the time female orientated shampoos are aimed at women who wash their hair 3 times a week maximum. So they tend to be a lot harsher for us because we wash our hair every day. So that can sometimes dry out the hair. So I would always look for shampoo that says like every day on it, okay? Because then that way you can use it every day and it won't dry the hair out. Especially with your hair, you don't need to use heavy products in it. So it doesn't really almost need washing every day. It's just always nice to refresh it. And then add conditioner on after you've shampooed it. So a good routine, what I always tell people to do is, a lot of guys don't want to use conditioner because you have to leave it on for 3 minutes minimum for it to actually have any effect, okay? So the way I try and incorporate it into my routine, and the way I try and help other people, is jump in the shower, wash your hair first. So shampoo your hair first, rinse it out, pop your conditioner on, work it into the hair, not into the scalp. So with the shampoo, you rub it into the scalp. With the conditioner, you run it through your fingers, through your hair like this, okay? You just scrunch your hair with the conditioner like that, okay? Now, what you do then is you wash the rest of your body. You shower yourself the way you would do normally. And then you rinse everything off at the end. So that usually gives you at least 3 minutes of the conditioner being on there, with adding an extra 10 seconds onto your shower routine. Because again, we need to make sure we can add these things into our routine that aren't going to be time consuming, because we won't do it. So if you can do that, is always good. Do it to start with every other day for a week. And then after that week, start to wean yourself. So start to take a day out the following week. So do it, you know, say you're doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, right? Then do it, say, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, leave Sunday. And then just get down to 2 days a week. And that's usually enough for what you've got going on at the moment. Another good idea to look after it is the way you style it as well. Because when you're styling curly hair, if you don't style it evenly, it will look kind of clumpy and a bit wiry in different places. So if you're wearing, like, say if you're going to naturally dry it, make sure that once you've dried it with a towel, don't try not to rub it like this, because it causes static. So it'll make it look frizzy. So with a towel, just scrunch dry the hair like this with a towel. Just pat the hair down. So just towel on over your hand or under your hand and just grab it like that and just dry it through. Okay, don't rub it, because it'll make it go big. And then always put a little bit of aftercare. Like, even if you're not going to use a heat on it, just put a bit of salt spray or a bit of curl enhancer or anything like that. Even like a leave-in conditioner, and just make sure you scrunch it evenly. Okay, so make sure when you are styling it, make sure you're working in sections across the hair. Okay, more than just sporadically picking bits out. You start at the back, work, say, 3 scrunches from right to left, left to right, whichever hand you like to use, and do that across the head until you get to the fringe. And then that usually helps to keep it looking in one go. Okay. And again, the final, probably most important one is the cut as well. Make sure that when you are getting it cut, it's cut even on top. Okay. No point cutting, so no scissors going into it, because that won't help. That'll make it almost look like it's split at the ends. You want to keep it nice and straight, and just make sure it's balanced all over. So you tend to cut it slightly more round in curls, because it sits more round on the head. So that's what I would suggest. Make sure it's cut level as well. Okay, and that all them, or if you incorporate all of that, you should be totally fine.
Makes sense. Thank you for the good advice.
You're so welcome, Varun. Thank you for your time, mate. I hope I helped. Again, if you've got any more questions or whatever, just pop Liam a message, and I'll try and answer them best for you as well.
Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, how's
How are
it going? Good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. How's lockdown treating you?
Not too bad. Just kind of hanging out over here. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, I've got 3 kids, so it's a little bit busy in my house at the moment. But no, it's good, man. I mean, look, not much we can do, so we're making the most, aren't we? So we've got time off.
Of course.
It's got lovely weather where I am at the moment, so I can't complain, man. I can't complain.
That's good. Chicago weather's been all over the place. So.
Has it? Well, we've had ridiculously hot weather, which we never get. So I'm making the most of it. That's why I've got nice, a nice tan.
That's good.
So thanks very much for doing the Zoom call. It's really nice to try and do some virtual consultations. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. The things I usually ask for is, tell me about yourself, your lifestyle, your grooming routine, and anything else you want to add in there as well. And also, what is your preferred cut in an ideal world you'd like to get?
Cool. Well, I'm really into fashion and style and stuff. So I've actually been cutting my own hair for like almost a year now.
Wow.
And I'm trying to. I had a perm going on for like just the last month, but it's kind of grown out, and I decided to cut it all off. So I'm looking for like a French crop cut now, and
cool. Yeah, definitely. That would suit you a lot, that man. Yeah.
Asian hairs could be just so spiky and like, I feel like my hair just comes out. So I'm trying to go for that French crop, and I just feel like my hair doesn't fall down on my head as the way other guys do. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Other than that, I get my fade going.
It's
It's just
not. You've done a
top
good
really that I
fade,
can't
man.
figure out.
You've done a great fade.
Thank
That
you.
looks from where I am. It looks awesome. Yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. But yeah, it's
So,
really just the top that I gotta figure out here.
okay. So, So you well, like you said, you're into fashion. So that's the look you're trying to go for is bang on the money for what you look for what would suit your image. You know. Do you spend a lot of time styling your hair? Will you commit time to it?
Yeah. I mean, when I
Yeah.
had my perm going, it was very natural to I would just wake up and rock with whatever I had.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. What was your hair texture like when you had the perm? Because obviously, I've seen some guys like with Asian hair who get a perm, it can go really dry. Was yours okay? Did you find it work easy
No,
or?
yeah, mine stayed. It was all really good. I felt like I
Wow,
took good care of it though. Conditioned
that's
it a
good.
lot and put some
Yeah,
oil in
yeah.
it when I had to. All that. So
Oh, that's
no,
okay.
I
So
never had
yeah,
problems.
so okay, that's awesome. So based on what you're telling me now, you know how to look after your own hair. So that's always a good start. Now, we can talk about the French crop now. What you need to do to make it work best for you. So generally, when with Asian hair or any straight thick hair, should we say? Because don't have to always generalize it to like Asian hair, for example, like being too straight. Because mine is so straight as well, but I've
Yeah.
got no Asian in me at all. So it's just super thick and super straight. So let's use that more so. Now, what you need to do with yours is if you want that French crop, you have to layer hair over the fringe, okay, to make it sit down. So I'll talk you through it. So what you're best doing, and it might be slightly annoying, but it'd be worth it, like say for the summer, to get that perfect look, is you have to grow out your fringe, okay? So you want to grow the whole top of your hair out to about here on you, okay? And then what you do is you section away. So if you're doing this yourself, let me just sit up a little bit. So what you want to do, can you still see me, yeah? Is that all right?
Yep.
Cool. So essentially you want to grow the whole of the top of the head out. So just keep your fade going, okay? Keep working up the same height as you've got now. Keep the fade going and just grow and grow and grow and grow. Now, when you get to your fringe and all the top of your hair is the same length, right? And you've got a long fringe, what you do is you section off the hair following, you do a center part, so you do a line right down the middle, and then you take a section about like a centimeter back from your hairline, okay? So you end up with what looks like a sort of T section like this, okay? Working through. Then you cut your fringe to the length you want. So if you want that really blunt, straight fringe, you cut it really straight at that height. Just for example, that height. Then what you do, as you let that section out, you'll have a short fringe and then loads of hair hanging over it. Then you take another section back in a centimeter and you bring that down, you cut to the fringe again. So essentially what you're doing is you're layering longer hair on top of shorter hair, and that's what keeps it flat. Okay. Now we've got the videos online of this on the crop fringe, which I'm talking you through the exact technique that you do to create that. Okay. It is quite a technical haircut for something that looks so simple, but it needs to be done like that, especially on thick straight hair, because it won't sit flat. It'll just spike forward. Okay.
Right.
So if you layer all that hair on top of each other, it adds weight. So the weight and the gravity will just hold it down. And then that way you can cut it a bit shorter through the crown a little bit, but you essentially leave it quite long through here. But because you've got the short fringe and the short back, you don't see this length through here. It just molds in to one because visually it looks short on you. You know, from like a distance, you can see you've got a really short fringe. That way you get that nice straight finish along the front for that French crop effect, where actually you've still probably got like an inch length behind the fringe. Do you get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So that's how you get the French crop look.
For sure. So my question is, I've seen all those videos on it, on how you like section off this front part of your fringe and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the science behind it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because so what I had done is my hair was pretty long when I cut it to try my own French crop, and I kind of just took my clippers and just went straight on like that.
Okay.
So I thought, and I'm just trying. So now you're saying to layer it and just slowly move it back.
Yeah,
and
is
that not the same as just doing it all at once, or how does that work?
Not really, not really, because what you're doing, if you just do it all in one go, you break the sections up to mold it around the hairline, but also when you're working down in sections, you're cutting. it allows you to kind of pick the length that you want. Because if you go in with a clipper straight on forwards, it can sometimes, you get the clipper at the wrong angle, it can sometimes cut the bits behind the fringe. So it just allows it to be cleaner. To do it the way we do it, it's cleaner and it's more visual, and you start to see it happening as you go. And so if you just take a bit of clippers and just go bong like this, you're not really seeing, like, it would essentially, right, it would work. For argument's sake, it would work. But when you're working with straighter hair, you need to see how the hair pings up once you've cut it shorter. So you start with a longer length, and then you pull it down to your fringe, you cut it a bit longer. Then as you let go of it, and don't forget when it dries as well, it will ping up. So by layering it in, you're starting to exactly pick out the bits that you might need to leave longer or shorter. Whereas if you just take it coming forward and cut it all in, you're not really allowing for any mistakes or any mishaps that could happen, or, you know, for you visually to see what's happening in the haircut. Because again, you can just cut it in, but you want to layer it in to add that texture and movement for when it starts to sit a bit flatter as well. So it helps to add texture and add movement to the French cut, basically, is what I was trying to say in a very long-winded way.
No, I get it. Okay, so just to clarify for myself, so I'm going to take this front fringe part, and so I cut that to whatever length I like here.
Yeah, always go a tiny bit longer though, because it will pop up. Okay, so if you had different hair, if you had like finer hair, you could cut it to the length that you want, and it would sit there. Whereas thick straight hair at a short length doesn't look like a fringe. It just looks like forward hair.
Out. Yes, exactly.
It just pops out. So that's why if you layer it in and you take it a bit longer, as it dries through, and you start to see exactly how it sits, and you start to see the weight building up on it, then it allows you to know that actually maybe I can go a tiny bit shorter here. It just gives you that little bit of a kind of prevention over cure kind of thing. But with anything like mine in your hair though, just have it a tiny bit longer than you normally would, because as it dries out and as you get product on it, it will look slightly different as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just trying to like imagine how I'm going to be doing this when it gets to it.
Well, at the minute, I'd grow the fringe out a lot more, okay? Because what's happened is that section is really long. Like, it's quite a long section toward the back. So why we do small sections, because we're trying to build as much weight onto the fringe as we can. So if you take a very large section and cut that quite short, the weight isn't exactly there, because your weight's coming from here more than here, okay? So you're literally going like a centimetre sections, okay? So imagine you could draw a letter T on your head, draw a straight line down the middle with a comb, part it into an old classic 90s centre part all the way down, and then just take a section behind the fringe and just do a line right across your hairline. So you've got, if you look in the mirror, it looks like a T. Back into small, it allows you to see exactly where you're going and whether you need to go a bit shorter or a bit longer, if it's going to work for you, okay? But if the best way to do it is watch our video, right? And now I'm talking to you, and now I'm explaining to you exactly what to do.
Makes a lot more sense.
It might pop a bit more for you on the video. You might go, okay, that's what Dan was saying. I know why he's done the centre section. He's crossed it over that way. So, and do you know what? Even get yourself a mannequin head and give it a go on a mannequin before you do it to yourself. You know what I mean? Totally. You can cut it. You can cut your own hair. Why not try out doing a French crop on a mannequin first, doing the same sections, and then do it on yourself?
For sure. And then what about the corners of the fringe too? I never know how far to go up with it before I start trying to blend it back into my sides, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If you're going for that kind of crop, you want the blend to start where the fringe is, okay? Because that way it all stays level when you look from the profile angle. When you see someone from the side, it all fits in perfectly. So wherever your fringe is going to sit, that's why we do the fringe first. Wherever your fringe is going to finish, that is where you want to start your blending pointer. Okay. Now don't forget, with a fade, there's two blends. Okay. There's the blend into the top length and a blend with the clippers into nothing. Okay. Because everyone doesn't talk about that top blend, but it's two blends going on in any fade. Okay.
Totally.
So you don't want your zero to start your fringe. You want the blend into the top to start from your fringe. Okay. And then you can do your blend, say, from the sideburns up into that length where the fringe is. Okay. So imagine, best way to do it is if you put in, say, like, how do you do your fade? What do you do with your fade? Do you start from like 0 and work up, or do you put a higher guard in first?
I set my base with this was a 2 all the way around, and then I had my bald shaver at the bottom and then down faded.
Okay, cool, perfect. So you start with your 2. Where your fringe, when you've cut your fringe in, you almost want to continue where your fringe is, continue, get your clippers and start your number 2 there. Okay, so wherever your fringe finishes at the temple here is where you start your number 2 fade through there. Okay. And obviously where you go down to the bottom doesn't matter. It's where that blend into the top starts. So try and do that. Okay.
For sure. Totally. Cool. Perfect.
Excellent.
And then lastly, do you have any tips on just blending these corners? I kind of cut my friend's hair sometimes too, and so just any tips that you got for blending these, just the corners here between the top and sides?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard doing it yourself when you are cutting it into like a longer length. But the best thing I can say to do is to work through your guards. Okay, so give yourself a dry your hair off. So once you've cut the top, once you've done your crop and everything's cut through the top that you're happy with, so you've layered it in and then you've texturized however you normally do it yourself, right? Dry it forwards. So dry your hair with a hairdryer all the way forwards, okay? And then start off at, like, say, a number 5 or number 6, okay? And just start off literally from the fringe where you would start your number 2 and just work up and off like that, right? Literally parallel to the other side. But as you work through the guard, it's kind of like it's almost like we used to call it when we were in college. It was like we used to cheat doing this because we weren't using our scissors, we weren't using clipper over comb, we were just using clippers, okay? But it's only a cheat if you can do them other techniques. Whereas if you're not, if it's hard to do them techniques on yourself. So start off on like a 6, an 8, or whatever you've got, and just where your number 2, where you'd normally start with your number 2, just work up and off like that. So with the hair being forward, up, comb it forwards, up, coming forward, and just do that all the way around the head. Just work up and off. Don't be going tempted to go round because that's where you'll cut the top. Just coming literally up and off like that, right? And then just work down gradually until you get to your number 2, and then again just work down again, and that will help you do it. But work through the lever as well. So say like a 7, and then like say a 6.3, 5, and whatever else, work down that way, and that will help you. Okay, especially if the hair's short. That's a good way of doing it.
For sure. Brilliant. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, mate, you're welcome. Thank you so much for your time. It's really cool to do this. I'm glad I can give you some advice as well. So thank you very much for your time today.
It's cool to get the insight and like the actual, a real in-depth explanation behind all of this. So I appreciate it.
Oh no, thank you, man. Yeah, no, thanks for spending your time with us today, and good luck. And you know what? When you do get to this point, please do like send Liam a picture or a video, or even tag me on Instagram or something, and I'll be really cool to see how you've done it as well. Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome,
cool,
man.
Thank you, guys.
Nice to meet you, man. Stay safe. See you, bud.
Stay safe. Be well. Thanks, Liam. See you guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man. I'm good. How are you?
Man. I'm doing well. Thanks, man. You can hear me okay?
I can. Yeah, I can hear you okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Right on. I just had my blue blockers on.
Oh, that's all right, man. How are you today? You okay?
Yeah, everything's okay. Actually, I'm here in Dubai.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so we it looks like we've pretty much been on police we have been on police lockdown for like the last six weeks almost.
Wow.
So like literally not even outside your front door, applying for permits. But it looks like they're starting to, they're releasing guidelines to how businesses can open up.
Yeah.
So it seems like because also tomorrow is the start of Ramadan.
Of course, yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
So it looks like they're starting to open things back up. So everybody's like ready to go,
Imagine what that'll be like when you walk out. It'd be like sort of like The Walking Dead. When you walk out like this,
I know, right? I know.
Wow, man. So you're here for a virtual consultation. Now, the way I do my consultations, it's going to be the same way doing it here than I would do if you were sitting in the chair. Okay. So what I normally ask is tell me a little bit about yourself, your lifestyle, your grooming routine, and in an ideal world, what look would you want to achieve from obviously our virtual consultation today?
Yeah. So like in Dubai for now 9 years.
Wow.
Fairly, from Chicago, originally from Chicago.
Nice.
casual, casual style for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have an office type format or environment. I mean, I do have
Okay.
an office, but
Yeah. It's not like conservative.
I have
It's quite relaxed.
no. It's
Yeah.
quite relaxed. I mean, I'm covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
So although I know that's becoming the new normal, so
Well,
um,
it is in my world anyway. Yeah.
yes.
I haven't got as many as some of the guys have. I used to have a lot compared to other people, but now I'm
Yeah.
virtually tattoo-less compared to other guys now. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll change one day, man. When I can focus my energy on tattoos, I'm gonna get covered in them again. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But so what is the sort of what's your grooming
Yeah.
routine? What do you tend to do?
I mean, now, like, okay, so basically, I have had long hair
Okay.
for probably the last 2 years, and then like literally, I mean, and always I was kind of itching to. Here's where it's at now.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you can kind of. This
Yeah, I can see that.
everything is pre-quarantine.
Yeah.
I haven't touched anything, beard, nothing. So
Yeah.
I'm
You're rocking
itching
the
to.
full isolation look right now, aren't you?
Yeah. So I basically like,
No, it's fine. What
because
can we do?
I kind of thought, I mean, I was enjoying long hair, but I was kind of fed up with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just doing it, kind of pushing it back, and then that was it. I wouldn't like, I don't want to spend a ton of time on my hair.
No.
I don't want to spend time. I want it to be easy. I'd like to be able to play with it too during the day.
Yeah.
And kind of, but
you've got a good texture of hair though. I mean, if you can see, it's got a slight little bit of curl to it, a bit of wave to it. So you've got a good texture of hair. So it would be a shame just to pop it back and have nothing else to do with it. You know, it would almost like you're almost doing yourself an injustice really by doing that, because you've got a good texture, you've got a bit of curl in there, it's thick. I think you could go for more of a kind of looser finish to your hair would actually really suit you as well. And I think the beard suits you as well. I mean, this is obviously, when I meet someone for the first time, I look at someone and think, does that suit them or not, you know? So I think by looking at what you've got now, obviously throughout this quarantine kind of period, I think it's probably done you some favours, because I think the beard looks wicked. I think if you tidied it up, it would look nice. If you took it down a touch here, so it kind of graduated into a bit fuller through here, it would be quite nice. Quite low maintenance.
So like a longer,
just like a longer. Yeah. I think it would suit you quite a lot. Yeah, I think in terms of the sides and the back of your hair, though, because it is quite curly towards the sideburns, I'll probably get away with going shorter, but I wouldn't go short. I wouldn't go anything shorter than, like, say a number 4, if anything, like on a clipper, because I think you suit with your face shape. I think you suit a bit more hair through the sides as well. I don't think it would suit you if you went too short on the sides, because it would help you kind of create that. Sorry.
So like a number 4 on the sides.
Yeah, I think it'd look nice, or even scissor cut on the sides would be nice for you. Yeah, I think it'd look wicked. And just trying to, not looking for anything like no scalp exposure at all. I just think if you're looking to have something to play around with, you don't want to just have the top to play around with. You want to have a little bit of length through here as well to balance everything through. Otherwise, it would just look. You've got an oval face shape by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So I think if you go too high and too short, it almost makes your face look really long. Whereas you want to lean the face a bit more, you know. So yeah, I would get like scissor cuts, short back and sides, or even like a number 4. Have it nice and tidy around the ears, and obviously onto the sideburns, into the beard, and on the neck as well. And then just have like say the length. Maybe take like half an inch off the top, but get a lot of texture put into it. So a lot of point cuts and a lot of, say, if you can get the razor on it as well, it'd be amazing. I just think you'd suit that a lot, especially if your look is quite casual. I think a slick back haircut goes against your look. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes it can have that balance, you know.
So you think go shorter on top? Come out.
Not too much shorter. No, not much. Not much shorter. If I'd say the maximum you'd want to lose on that would be maximum half an inch, because I think you need that length in it to have that movement in the hair, so you can play around with it, you know. I think that will look nice. All you'd want to do is, if you cut the sides in the angle you're at now, right, is that if you cut the sides in a bit tighter, it would start to really frame the corner of the hair here. So you'd start to get a bit more movement through, and then it would sit in. So it would just lean the face off more than anything else. And I think that would balance what you've got going on now. Would be really, really cool.
Do you have a picture like maybe you can Google search something, or you
Yeah,
have an idea, or I can Google search something and I can show it, or I can get a visual too.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you're on it, are you on Instagram?
I am on. I mean, I'm not really. I have an account, but I'm not really on that much.
Okay. Well, if you drop Liam an email, drop Liam an email. What I'll do is I'll get him to CC me into a reply, and I'll look for a couple of photos for you, because I know which ones I can see them off the top of my head, which ones I'd recommend you. So it would take me 5 minutes to do.
Yeah.
So I'll
Hair and beard.
do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's what you're looking for is just something that is quite textured. You know, it's not a problem at all, Robert. Yeah, that's cool, mate. Not a problem at all.
Like, let me just. I have one. Like, or is that too short?
No, that's a bit too short.
Okay.
It's too short, and only because your face shape's different to his, because you've got a beard. Okay, if you shaved your beard, yeah, it would be okay, because it would because your face would lean up more. It would be more angular. Whereas because you have a beard, it tends to make your face a little slightly wider. So if you go too short and too round on that haircut there, it would almost make your face come out a bit. It would just alter your face shape to it wouldn't suit you. Okay. So I'll show you one that I've got in mind. To be honest as well, if you've seen our scissor cut video, it'd be very similar to that.
Okay, I will.
In terms of the length, the finish length and stuff. Yeah. In terms of the finish length.
That's with beard. Do you have an idea? What would you think something like that if I did without beard or just scruff?
Yeah, if you went short, if you took your beard down to say like a 1 or something like that, so like 3 millimeters, should we say? Okay, 3 millimeters, 6 millimeters. That'll be a good length for your beard because it's quite thick, so it'd still look like you've got a beard. And then if you were going to get something like that haircut there, I just wouldn't go too high with the blending. It just looks as though it's a little bit too round on that picture for me personally. I think if you got it blended in to the point where it was, it wasn't blended too high and around the head, it would be okay. It will be fine. Yeah, and maybe just a bit more length on top.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
What kind of product are you thinking for me?
I would choose anything that is matte, anything that's dry. Okay, if it's too wet on your hair, because the color of your hair as well, you've got quite a lot of red tones in your hair.
Yeah,
so if you put something too wet on your hair, it would look greasy. Okay, so because you've got blonde, red tones, more warmer tones as we call it. If you put anything wet or anything with like a wax base to it, it would make it look greasy in certain areas. Whereas you use something more like a matte paste, a matte clay, a matte cream, anything that's matte, it would actually make your hair look like it's got more movement in, and it wouldn't make it look greasy at all. Because color of hair makes a difference to not just the style of the hair, of how you want to style it. It's also you've got to take into account the color as well, because you might love the smell of this wax, but when you put it on your hair, it looks greasy because of the color of your hair. So I'd always go for something that has got that drier, more natural texture in it. So maybe natural shine towards the matte end. Okay.
You have a specific brand or in mind?
There's that many. I mean, to be honest, this isn't just a plug for Real Gentleman, but the Regal Gentleman matte clay would work for you because it's dry. So that is not genuinely not a plug, because you could look at other brands like, you could look at like American Crew, Vader. There's so many brands out there. You're essentially just looking for something that is in your price point, and that is matte or is dry. That's all you're looking for as well. I'd stay away from powders though, hair powders like the texture powders, only because it can make your hair a bit too dry. Okay, so you want to have something that you've got an application of that is out of a tub more than that you would sprinkle onto style your hair with. Okay, because there's quite a lot of them mattifying powders out there now as well.
Yeah, cool, Dan. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome.
So
Anything else?
I'll send Liam a message. So if you can just give me like no beard and beard look, that would be great.
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, not a problem at all. Not a problem at all, mate.
Cheers, man. Thanks
awesome.
a lot.
Thank you very much, Robert. Lovely to meet you, mate. Take care of yourself.
You too. Take care.
All the best, man. See you, bud.
Bye.
Bye. So, just want to say thank you to the guys who came on. That was a really awesome thing. Again, like I said, first time we've been doing these, and I thought it went really, really well. If you want to be involved and you would like a consultation with myself and just have a chat about your, you know, grooming routine or your hair or whatever, either give us a comment below or drop Liam an email at liam@regalgentleman.com.